MDC headquarters. During the time of Morgan Tsvangirai, it was called the Harvest House. It later on changed and it was named as the Morgan Richard Tsvangirai House, named after the late leader of the MDC, who died as a leader also of the MDC. Now we know that there have been power struggles in MDC. It started with ousting Nelson Chamisa using the very Zimbabwe court system or the judiciary system, sometimes which the opposite plans, and sometimes they decide to trust it and they go to the very same judiciary. Now there is drama again between Elias Mudzùri, who happens to be the vice president of the current leader, that is Douglas Mwonzora. If you remember, there was a court ruling which actually compelled Mwonzora to hold another Congress because of inconsistencies of the previous Congress, but Douglas Mwonzora appealed that particular judgment and echoed political statements indicating that Mnangagwa wanted him gone as an opposition leader because he was against the 2030 mantra. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, Lihlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what? You become the very first one to watch us. So there was drama at MDC offices, popularly known as they are actually Morgan Richard Tsvangirai. They were named after Morgan Richard Tsvangirai. So apparently they are saying there is a plot to remove totally Douglas Mwonzora from these offices, headquarters of MDC, and this plot is actually engineered by Elias Mudzùri as well as Morgan Komichi, according to my sources. And what transpired is that engineer Elias Mudzùri went to the MDC offices with the intention of actually removing Douglas Mwonzora, and in his own thinking, he was effecting the High Court ruling that was done on in February by Justice Hopius Joe. It is said that he went with a group of youths actually accompanying him. I think he was preparing for a fight. He knew that Douglas Mwonzora's group was going to resist. True to that, the group of Douglas Mwonzora resisted Elias Mudzùri youth. It appears there was a confrontation until the members of the Zimbabwe Republic Police were called to actually deal with the situation, and eventually Elias Mudzùri was seen driving off from the MDC offices. I think Nelson Chamisa should be celebrating this and actually saying poetic justice at the end of the day. It becomes the order of the day. The very, very same people who usurped the MDC alliance from him actually are now fighting for the control of MDC and specifically for the control of the offices. That is the Morgan Richard Tsvangirai House, which was known as the Harvest House, which is the headquarters of MDC. So apparently there is a serious fight between Douglas Mwonzora. Douglas Mwonzora is fighting also, saying the ruling of the High Court was influenced by Mnangagwa because he did not support Mnangagwa's 2030 mantra, and he appealed to that particular ruling. It remains to be seen as to whether his appeal is going to be successful. And also the other issue, it remains to be seen whether the judgment that was handed down by Justice Hopias Joe is binding, even though Douglas Mwonzora had actually successfully appealed. We know that in some circumstances, but not all, I think my friends who are lawyers have told me that not all actually cases can suspend the judgment of not all appeals, in fact, can suspend the judgment of a lower court. So it remains to be seen. Maybe Engineer Elias Mudzùri was advised that judgment is still in force, though pending the higher court judgment. You see, sometimes because of other precedents that have been set in Zimbabwe. I remember there was a point where Sengezo Chabangu made an application to enforce the judgment of a lower court, and it was granted, most probably because that was political. But in terms of law, in most cases, they say if you appeal a judgment, automatically that appeal suspends the lower court judgment. So it remains to be seen. There is battle for the control of MDC. I mean, the Congress that saw Douglas Mwonzora winning was found by the Zimbabwean courts not to be actually constitutional. It had a lot of irregularities, and as such, it was of no force. And it was not legally binding according to the judgment that was handed down by Justice Hopias Joe. So at the moment, we await to see, but there is political drama at the Harvest House. It's now named Morgan Richard Tsvangirai House. Douglas Mwonzora, as well as Engineer Elias Mudzùri and the Morgan Committee, they are now sworn enemies within that particular MTC. You see, they always say in politics, there are no permanent friends. Neither are they also permanent enemies. You may see actually permanent friends at the end of the day being actually permanent enemy. I mean, we may see enemies politically being friends in the future, and you may see friends being sworn enemies, as we are seeing at the moment. Elias Mudzùri, as well as actually the leader of the MDC, that is, I mean, these are not the names I'm used to talk about. Douglas Mwonzora backing it out for the control of the party, who will emerge, be it politically or legally. Only time will settle this matter. Is this karma, especially if you're a Nelson Chamisa supporter? Or let's hear your views on that matter. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. In fact, now you press subscribe plus button, or you can equally press the thanks button and send us stars in the form of money. Okay.